Hello Internet, welcome to Maryland. I have since moved to Maryland since I did a walk-around video. I checked, and the last time I did a walk-around video was almost a year ago. I did it before I did the second lift, and I knew I was going to do it sometime after. But my move has been my excuse for not doing a walk-around, but it was essentially done. I'm going to call it done. Just a few months ago. The only thing I could possibly get is an engine swap, but I'm not even going to think about that. Everything else on here is done. I'm going to walk around and try to point out by memory things that have changed since the last walk around video. And if there's something on here that you like particularly, there's probably a video about it in the Ruby Tuesday playlist. So let's just walk around and point out things that have changed since last year. And this is again off the top of my head, so if I forget something, I'm sorry. So for the front, Maryland requires you to have 2 plates, and there's no front mounting plate, but I found this nice winch plate bracket on Amazon, so it goes in behind your winch plate, and then this one is adjustable for size depending on if you have Fairlady leads in here or not. But you can fold it up there and you can get to your winch whenever you want, and then there you go. There's your license plate. I feel like something else changed on the front. Nothing is coming to my mind though. I don't want to miss anything, so let me just go to the side. Yeah, this is unavoidable. It was lifted. There's a video on that specifically. This is a Teraflex CT6. This is a 6-inch lift, and it has 40-inch tires. Got some nice new wheels too. They're 17 inches, just like my last ones, but these are alloy, and I think they look a lot sharper. With this lift, I also got the Falcon 3.3 adjustable shocks. You can kind of see it back in there, that I almost always leave on soft because they're adjustable. The rear ones I do adjust, and I'll probably talk about that when I get back there. With that, there is a 2.1 stabilizer, upgrade tire rod. It was re-geared front and back to 538. So everything underneath, drive lines, everything was changed except the axles. They were 44s on this Rubicon when I bought it, and I didn't change them because I figured it's strong enough for how I use it. But everything else got changed. Springs. There are also I think 1.5 inch wheel spacers on each one. Well, there's no body lift or anything like that. All right, staying underneath, I guess you'll see here, probably should have stayed on the other side, it's brighter. You'll see there's a horn there, and then there's another one on this side. Dual tone air horns that go to an onboard air compressor. I don't think I can see it, but that big black box has a plate that holds an air compressor. That air compressor goes to the horns, and it also runs an air line to the back, which I'll get to when I go to the back. On the side, change these handles. I'm not going to tell you what these handles are called because I don't know, and I wouldn't recommend them. I will say if you see handles that look like this, don't get them. Aside from costing too much, they freeze, and then the mechanisms don't work, and when it's below 0, they freeze and you can't get in. So that's the thing. They look cool. I think they look awesome, but now I know that they're not very good. Your stock handles will do better. If you're tempted to switch, don't get these. Also, steps, hinge steps for getting to the top of your Jeep. That's how they're made to be used. I had these painted. The shocks were also painted. A lot of things were painted and stuff, but I won't talk about it too much. I'll just talk about the things that are new and what they're for. Toward the top, last time I showed this, this rack was up there, but none of the lights have been put in. Now all the lights are in there. There's a 50-inch light bar on the front. There's side lights. And if I don't forget, there's a multifunction light bar on the back. Yeah, let's go there now. So right now I have I call them my mall cop lights on, my yellow flashing hazards, the dedicated ones, not the left and right, but anyway. So they're wired up into here, these 2 yellows that are on an alternating pattern. You can have them as a static pattern. Those 2 are white, which I have wired to the reverse, and those 2 are red that I have wired to brake. So now the whole roof rack is set up, and quick disconnects come in here so you can take the top off. I'll show you that when I go inside. On the back, I know some things changed. I know the license plate used to be here. Got delete. Went up here now. Have a rear camera. And here is the end of the line for the air. So I had them run a line off, and that's what the pump is designed to do for air and or running an air line. So now you can just take the hose that I have in here, and I'll show that inside, and you can just get air, and you can air down and air up, and it's really neato. All right, so let's go inside the back, because there's actually a lot back here, and then I'll go like inside the front. So the purpose, aside from this Jeep being able to kind of do anything, is I use it to take my motorcycles places, and so I kind of wanted all this rear area to be a motorcycle base. So there's 2 Rotopacks that I always keep gas in, and then there's a whole molly bag system on the back of here. These 2 carry straps, and I have a trailer for 2 motorcycles that goes back here, and I kind of just use this as like my station. And there's also bags underneath. I can't remember what's in each one, but there's airline jumper cables, a tiny jumper battery, airing up, airing down, all that stuff is in there, the hose. So the idea is you could have this as your station for your bikes. You can fill up the bikes, you can tie down the bikes, you can air up the bikes if you need to, air them down if you need to, and then jumper cables, it's all here. So this is like a little, kind of like a little kid area. Now here's a tiny thing that I absolutely love. I don't know if you can see it. There's a light bar up in here. I love cheap things that work really well. So this is like $70 on Amazon. And the reason I love this so much is because it attaches to your dome light, but when you open this up at night, it lights up the whole bay, and it lights up all the area out here. So I'll be tying down bikes at night, and I can just flip the tail up and I can see what I'm doing. It's great. So you can just get in these bags and everything. This back is entirely Ronan's area. It's just for the dog. So he's got his bed, and I got a hard cover, but it doesn't fit in here really well. My soft one fit better because of this cage. And this is a cage that just bolts onto the frame so that he's not tempted to try to jump through and get out a window. But this is his whole area. Here are the quick disconnects. Here's some custom set of pins. So there's 2 of them. And then we ran the electrical for all the lights through this hole that was already here for like the window washer and stuff. And it comes up here. So if you want to take the top off, you can. We made quick disconnects. Okay, I think that's it for the back. I thought about something I forgot, because I will. On the bottom, underneath, there's also some exhaust work. I know it changed since last time, but there is a dual tip exhaust. There's no muffler in this one, so it's just straight, which makes for a louder, lower tone. And then there's also a loop delete underneath along the exhaust line, which also makes it get a lower tone. So it doesn't sound like a Jeep anymore. I think it sounds nice. Okay, let's go inside. So what has changed in here since last time? That's a good question. Roll cage, roll bar, I almost forgot, that all changed. So this goes all around the A-pillars and all the way back here. And it also goes, turn the brightness up, all the way along here, all the way to the back. There's also a shade top up here. So if you were to take the top off the Jeep, you'd still have nice shade. And up on the dash, I made a video about this specifically. I customized the dash up here by painting, and I actually changed LEDs too inside there. So those are normally green, but they're yellow. I eliminated most of the green, and I have red and yellow and white, whatever I think is more appropriate, because you can just do that. One reason I like this bar setup is because then you have more mounting options, and one thing I knew I wanted to do was have a dedicated map up here. So that's just an iPad that I made to fit on here. It doesn't obstruct my view when I'm driving, but you can look up, and that's always Waze. That's what that's for. And then over here, CB/PA system. I haven't set up the PA, but there is a CB in here. That's what I use that for. Radar detector, because obviously this Jeep is going super fast and flying. That's why I need it. No, I just wanted it. And front and rear cameras. There's a camera up there, and then there's an identical one right here facing backwards. That can actually see the whole cab. And then those are wired to the key. So when I turn the key, the cameras turn on, the map turns on, stuff like that. And I can show that over there in a second. But also, the switch pod was here before, but now it's finally filled out. So everything's up there. And I think that's all that changed in the cab. Let me go to the other side really quick. Try to show all I did for the camera stuff. So certain cigarette, and this could have been done neater, but some of it I did myself, and some of it is just, you know, a lot of it actually is childish, but some cigarette lighter sockets are activated by the key, some aren't, so I just got the one that was closest to the key, which is this one. Runs in here. If I were to take this out, you'd see I think it's a 5 USB hub that I have wired in here. So, and this could be made neater, but I just don't care. So then you have 5 USB that are turnkey. So those go to the cameras, the rear detector, the iPad. I think that's it. I have a 5th one now, but then you turn the Jeep on and everything turns on. So that's the way I want it for some of this stuff. I did have it for a while where the cameras would run on the battery, so they're always on, but it is possible to kill the battery that way, and based on how I park it, I'm not really worried about it, you know, recording during that time. So, okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk around and look at it, let you look at it, and while we're looking, I'll see if I forgot anything. There's something I forgot. So originally, this was not made to hold the weight of this tire. There's an upgrade hinge. I don't know if you can see it in there, but that whole mechanism was replaced with a much stronger one so that it can hold the weight. The weight is not on the door. It's on the bumper right here. There's a mechanism that helps it. You can see the change between the Jeep door and the tire door. There's a hinge in there that just keeps them lined up, but the weight's on the bumper, so it can take it. Okay, let me walk around and see if I forgot anything. Something I forgot to mention is there is Teraflex rotors and brakes on here as well. I mean, like I said, everything underneath was upgraded except the axle, so everything you need to make this thing drive. I get asked a lot, how does it drive? Drives great. The re-gearing makes it so it would have driven like normal, but it does have a supercharger as well, so it drives just as fast, I would say, as a regular Wrangler, maybe a little bit slower, but otherwise it feels really good. The only thing you're going to notice with a lift like this, I would say, is the wind. If it's windy, you're going to feel it. And it brakes just as well as it did before it was lifted, because those big rotors on there. It's got caliper bracket upgrades, and then the front, they're upgraded dual piston calipers there, but then bigger rotors on all the tires, and so it stops just fine. I don't have any worries when I drive it. So that's everything off the top of my head. Like I said, there are videos on most of the things that were done to it. Please tell me in the comments if you'd like to see a much more detailed video going over each of the parts, because there's obviously a lot going on here. This was a 3-year project, and I'd be happy to answer questions about specific stuff, or more specifically, like, hey, could you go in the cab and point out everything you did and tell us where you got it? I can do that. Just let me know what you want to see. But you haven't seen it since, say, last year, and now I'm gonna call it done. It's hard to do. I mean, it's never done, but you gotta say it's done at some point. I'm gonna say it's done. It's got everything that I wanted, and now it's a full-size Hot Wheel. So thank you for watching. Thank you for looking. Let me know if there's questions I can answer, or if you want another video about something specific on this Jeep. Otherwise, have a good day. Thanks a lot. Bye.